What?
What?
What the hell is this?
Harumph. I didn't get a harumph out of that guy.
Give the governor harumph.
Harumph!
You watch your ass.
I see you shiver with anticipation.
Let the show begin.
Hey everybody, this is David Heretic coming at you with another edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. And tonight, alright, we're coming back to Iced Earth. Yes, indeed, Iced Earth fans, feeling you. Come on now. Here we go. Before we go any further, for those of you who are feeling inclined to doing all of the clicks and the likes and the bibbidi bop, do me a favor, before you do all that stuff, please watch the whole video first, okay? Give me a chance to actually earn those clicks and likes. Now, after the video's done, you still feel like doing all those clicks and likes, then by all means, feel free to click away. This comes as a request from Ben Guevara, and Ben wanted to see me react to this song by Iced Earth called Burnt Offerings. Now, have I heard this song before? No, I have not. To the best of my knowledge, this does not resonate with me in any way, shape, or form. However, there's always a possibility I may have heard the song in passing and I just don't realize it. So as always, if I start listening to the song and I suddenly go, wait a second, I have heard this song before, I'll let you know.
That's the truth.
You know me, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Let's see, this was posted by Official Iced Earth, all right? And the video has 49,000 views. It'll get you there. Other than that, there's really nothing else left to say. Link to the original video will be down below in the video description for your viewing pleasure at your leisure. Let's get started. What do you say? Are you ready? Are you ready? Because here we go. All right, here we go. Burnt Offerings, remixed and remastered. Cool. It does say Iced Earth up here. I'm hoping this is the right spot. Look, this is the link that I was given, all right? So if we're not in the right spot, don't blame me. Blame Ben. He's the one who gave me this link. All right, let's do this.
All right, boy, let's do this.
A little half-step movement. Okay. I don't have any problem with the song. Everything they're doing sounds good. I am finding it rather interesting that they're not playing with feel at all. Every time they change, they are literally changing tempo. Like, it's not even subtle. It is a jump, from like, I don't know, let's just, I'm not saying these are the tempos, but I'm just going to use these as examples. So like you're starting out at like 110 beats per minute, and then out of nowhere, you're jumping up to like 160 beats per minute. And then you're dropping back down to 110 beats per minute. And then you're dropping down to like 80 beats per minute, back up to 110. They're just all over the place. And they're not making any excuses for it either. They're not trying to make it smooth. They are intentionally making it jarring. And normally, I'm not really a big fan of that. There's two saving graces here. Number one, whenever they do change, they've given that section that they've been playing, they've been giving it more than enough time for the listener to get into the groove, get into the tempo, find the groove, and get into the groove and get comfortable before they switch it up suddenly, jarringly, intentionally to, for lack of a better word, wake us back up again, because let's be honest, sometimes we'll get into that groove, right? And we're in the groove and we're relaxing, we're getting into it, and we have a tendency to kind of lose focus because we're so into the groove and we're so relaxed. Well, here we go from 110 to 160, and with no setup. It did not accelerate gradually. It was right on the downbeat of 1. Holy cow, boom, and there we are. And it's like, whoa, time to wake up, kids,
I am the hype!
Second thing, rather than playing around with feel, they're playing around with phrasing. In the slower section, they've got that 4/4 going, right? No, I'm sorry, in the faster section, it's 4/4. So in the faster section, we're in that 4/4 time signature with a 4-bar phrase, right? Now, they'll drop the tempo down, right? Still in 4/4, but instead of doing a 4-bar phrase, they're doing a 3-bar phrase. Again, just another way to differentiate. There is a pattern. They've done it twice now. It's not random. This is planned. Okay, this has been designed in a very specific way to make that happen. They're not just throwing out time signatures and tempos just for the sake of throwing out various time signatures and tempos. No, there is a clear pattern. They've done it twice now. So that's interesting. I'm not sure what the reasoning is for in regards to a 3-measure phrase, but it sounds good. It does sound good. It does feel ever so slightly disjointed, just enough to get your attention.
That's an attention getter.
It does just enough to do that without overdoing it and without making it feel like, where is this song going? This song has gone completely off the rails. No, it hasn't. Everything they've done makes sense. And to an extent, everything they've done sounds smooth. It sounds good. In a jarring way, yes, but it's pleasing to the ear. So they're walking it. Don't get it twisted. They are walking a razor edge fine line, but they're making it work. So good for them. Let's get back into this and let's keep going. I hope this is the chorus, because this is the most hooking part we've heard so far. Okay, now we switch to a double time feel. But the snare hits on the and. That's little subfill there. Hold it. Chorus is definitely the hook, without question. I think this is the chorus. Is it fading? It is. With as impactful as that chorus is, wanting to end with the chorus, I get that, but a linear fade. The way the chorus was designed, there were so many better ways they could have ended that. Just, you know, hitting the downbeat of 1 and just letting it decay out. That would have been, or go back to the intro, go back to the beginning, maybe even do that, you know, to end the song out. I don't know. It's just a linear fade on the chorus. I've always felt is a last resort. Like that's what bands do when they can't figure a way to end the song. You know, they can't. They've tried a whole bunch of different ways. Nothing's worked. Okay, well, we'll just loop the chorus and we'll pull a linear fade. You know, that seems to be the easy way out. And it works, yes, but it's not the most effective way to end a song, especially a song with as solid a chorus as that has. I feel like that was a bit of a shortcut. Anyway, let me get my thoughts together. I'll see you in the review and we'll talk about it. Well, there you go, folks. That was Iced Earth with Burnt Offerings. This was a request from Ben Guevara. All right. Let's just get to the score, and we'll talk about everything I want to talk about. I don't know how long we're going to be here, folks. We may be here a while, so you might want to get comfortable. Let's start with the score first. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give that an 8.2. Yep, 8.2. I feel good about that score. Let me tell you why.
Why?
Okay, first things first, an 8.2. What does that mean? Well, an 8.2 would translate to a great skill rating. So overall, I think this was a great song. It would also get 4 to 5 stars and an A- letter grade. So there you go, an 8.2, great skill rating, 4 to 5 stars and an A- letter grade. Now, how did I come up with that score? So glad you asked. Okay, I had to go and check. I came up with the score, and I said, okay, this is the score I'm going to give it. I need to see how it compares to Dante's Inferno, which I did a reaction to not too long ago, because I wanted to make sure that this score wasn't as high. And I'm glad to see that it was. As it turns out, I gave Dante's Inferno an 8.5, and I'm giving this an 8.2. So that makes perfect sense. I was relieved when I saw an 8.5 for Inferno, for Dante's Inferno. This song, by comparison, not necessarily as intriguing as Dante's Inferno. I think Dante's Inferno had more moving parts. I think there were a larger number of parts on the board. But with this song, they may have had less parts, but they utilized those parts in far more interesting ways and far more subtle way. I can't believe I'm saying that, but in more subtle ways. Where Dante's Inferno had time signature changes. Like, it wasn't just 4/4 the whole time. There was some other time signatures they utilized. With this song, it was 4/4 the entire time. It was the entire time. What they did, though, was with this song, they took 4/4 time and they made it work in like 6 different ways, thanks to tempo changes primarily. Now, there was one section where they went into a double time feel, where they had the snare on the 8th notes. On the up beats, not on the down beats, on the up beats, on the and. There was that one section, but other than that, it stayed on the 2 and the 4, just with some big jumps within the tempo. And they never made the tempo change subtle. They never made the tempo change smooth. Every single time, it was abrupt. And normally, I would have a big problem with that. I would, because when you want to do transitions like this, you want to make it sound as pleasing to the ear as possible. So that would equate out to, accelerandos or decelerandos, or a sustained change, something like that. But they wouldn't do that. They would go right into stride from, for example, 110 beats per minute, and then just out of nowhere, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And with no transition, no lead in, no setup. It just changed. And like I said, normally I'm not a big fan of that, but in this song, not only did it sound good to my ears anyway, it sounded just fine to me, it was almost necessary, because they did exactly what I look for when I talk about bands changing feel or changing tempo or changing time signature. Give the listener a chance. Give the listener a chance to find the groove. First of all, find the groove. Then fall into the groove, then get comfortable in the groove. They did that to a T every single time. There was not one single time where they changed too quickly, and it was discombobulating. You know, I never felt agitated. I never felt aggravated that I didn't have a chance to get in the groove. No, they gave us plenty of chance. Maybe a little too much, because there were a couple times I really kind of fell into the groove, and then when they changed, I was like, whoa, whoa. But here's the thing, it kind of needed to happen that way. It kind of did, because I was so into the groove, I was laying back, I was comfortable, and I needed a wake up. And by doing the changes the way that they did, with no setup, it was not smooth, it was very abrupt, but not, like I said, not in a displeasing way, in a way, like I said, that was kind of necessary, and they pulled it off, absolutely. The chorus, I believe that's the chorus that I pointed out. That is the hook, without question. It sounds good. I like the fact that they were using more of a melodic singing approach for the chorus, because if the chorus is going to be your hook, you want it to sound as pleasing to the ear as possible, and they really did a fine job with that. No, the songwriting on this, it may not be as complex as Dante's Inferno was. It wasn't as impressive from a complexity standpoint, but from a feel standpoint, they did a fine job with this. They absolutely did. And they may have had less pieces on the board, but they utilized those pieces in some really, really nice ways. Musicianship across the board, I'm just going to lump, just to save time, I'm going to lump everybody up into a grand general statement. Everybody did a fine job across the board. Guitars, bass, drums, keyboards, everybody. It sounded really nice across the board. Vocally, I'm not normally the biggest fan of pure grit and growl, which is a good thing, because I never really heard any pure grit and growl in this. Every single time there was grit and growl, and there were varying degrees. Sometimes the grit and growl was more rasp than it was grit and growl, and other times it just sounded absolutely guttural. But here's the thing, even when it was at its worst, even when it was guttural, I still heard it was hard to find, but I still heard melodic undertones inside of it. Now, as it got less and less gravelly, it was easier to find the melodics underneath. It was way easier as it got less and less. But even at its grittiest, you still got some melodic undertone. I appreciate that. I do. It shows that they do believe that harmonics and not harmonics, but melodics should be present. Even at the heaviest, it should be present in the vocals. I like that. So I had no issues with the vocals whatsoever. As a matter of fact, I kind of applaud the vocals for being able to show off all these varying ranges of delivery, whether it be, just an absolute guttural grit and growl, all the way to a gravelly voice, to a raspy voice, to a clean vocal, to an operatic style vocal. I mean, there were a lot of different styles demonstrated in this song, and it definitely made an impact for sure. It helped add more variety to the song. Overall, like I said, I still believe Dante's Inferno is more impressive. It has more parts on the board, more moving parts on the board. This may not have as many moving parts on the board, but they were able to move in ways that, honestly, in some respects, Dante's Inferno wasn't able to, or didn't. Whether it was unable to or it chose not to, it doesn't matter. It didn't happen. This did. And it was believe it or not, this was a pleasant listen. So, and I know it said 7 minutes. I know it's a 7-minute plus song. Honestly, it didn't feel like it. It felt a little short. I'm not going to sit here and blow things out of proportion and go, oh, the time flew by, and it felt like 4 minutes. No, it didn't feel like 4. It didn't even feel like 5. It felt like around 6, if I'm being honest. It was a little. It felt a little shorter than it actually was, and that's always a good sign too, because that means I was enjoying myself. So, kudos to them. So yeah, 8.2, I feel good with that score, and that's where we're gonna stay. So let's wrap everything up here in a nice shiny bow, shall we? We have an 8.2, which is a great skill rating, 4 to 5 stars, and an A- letter grade. Take your pick, I don't care, whichever one of those floats your boat. Final word, final score, I have spoken. Well, that's gonna do it for this edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. Hope you all enjoyed the show. Hope I was able to entertain you. If I was able to put a smile on your face and brighten your day, I did my job, and I'm so glad I could do it. If you guys feel like joining the fan base, go ahead and click on that button down there. If you guys want to like the video, go ahead and like the video. If you guys want to ring the bell, go ahead and ring the bell. It honestly doesn't make any difference at all to me. But if you guys feel like doing these things, well then by all means, feel free to do so. Well, that's going to do it for tonight, folks. Thank you very much for watching. And as always, this is David Heretic signing off, reminding you to stay fabulous and support each other. Later. Peace.